we have Mr. Satyadev with us today. We are proud to say that he is one of our first cohort grantees. He is supported under RKV Veraftar. So his firm name is ABY Farmers LLP. As the name suggests, he is directly working with farmers. It is a social enterprise with a primary aim of helping farmers in agri processing and marketing their produce. So they're directly working with farmers, helping them in value addition also. So they have a very good model where they're sharing 50% of their profits with farmers. Very interesting model. He is going to explain how they're treating farmers as not a supplier but as a partner. They say that farmer is a partner to their business model. They're very integral part to their business. On this note, we welcome Mr. Satyadev. Satyadev has a very rich experience of social enterprises. Not only started this, before this he worked in the sector for very long. He has a rich experience of working in developmental sector, especially with farmers. Sir, with this we invite you to start the session, sir.
Thank you so much, Yuvraj. So good morning, everyone. Sir, thank you so much for giving this opportunity to share our model with all the fellow agriculture team members who are working across the country. So I'll just give you the brief of what we farmers all about, and I'll just take you through overall we are working and what is our model, why it is unique, and what is our plan and how we want to go about all those things we'll discuss in the context of agri extension services and value addition and processing related activities. So as the name suggests, it stands for Agribusiness Yuva Farmers. So we have started this organization in 2017 with twin objectives. The reason for existing of our organization is, the primary reason for existing of this organization is to provide the best market price to the farmers, the organic and natural farmers. So we work only with organic certified farmers as well as the natural farmers who have been practicing so in the different parts of the country. Our second objective is to bring the best possible chemical-free products to the country. We only work with the organic certified and the natural farmers who produce the products without using any chemical fertilizers and the pesticides. So this is the objective. I'll get into the details. As Yuvraj already told, we are the managed incubator, and so we got the first tranche of the funds also as part of the grantee also. So we are also recognized organization. So in 2009 also, AVI has been awarded as the Best Social Enterprise Award by AFI, Action for India. As I told you, we are dealing only with organic certified and natural products. So we have the USDA organic certification as well as the India NPOP organic certifications. These are the photographs, and we have got the certification from EcoCert, which is one of the 4 premium organic certification agencies in the country as of now. So I'll just get into the background of our organization before I just discuss about what and how we are doing. So if you see this entire country, there are about 120 million farmers not getting the benefits of valuation for their produce. That's the entire 3-day program is all about how we can just bring valuation to the farmers and increase their income. So that is the reality of these things. Almost all these farmers, they are only producing, but they are not into the valuation. Government organizations are providing a lot of encouragement and support and creating the, but the people, the farmers who are into the valuation as of now is not even 1%, less than 1%. That's what we can say. So although there are some FOs, farmer organizations, They've been promoted. That's what we are calling it as a farmer producer organization, farmer producer company. That farmer producer company is registered under the central government's producer company act. But whereas the FPO, farmer producer organization, is a more generic word, it can be registered as the societies or the companies. That's a more generic using. So although if you see around more than 7,000 groups are registered either on the Producer Company Act or on the Societies Act of the concerned state. But less than 5% are into value addition, collective marketing, processing, marketing of value-added products. This is the hard reality because of the so many issues that that is not part of our discussion now, unless anybody has some so take over. So that is the reality. Many of the FPOs promoted are dormant now. They are not able to, as per the objectives laid out by them, because of the so many things. One is the financial resources. Second one is the networking related thing. Third one is core team is the one of the three of very important reasons for that thing. So the farmers and farmer producer organization do not have a direct linkage with the consumers. This is essentially because of the two reasons. All of you think farmers are not connected to the consumers. Because why? Because is that the produce, the farmers are doing, and the consumers what they want is totally different. Consumers want rice, farmers are producing paddy. Consumers want wheat atta, farmers wheat. That's where in between the middlemen are what we can say that the traders or the processing units are coming into picture who are processing and marketing. And the processing units are the traders. They are able to fix the rates for both sides. They are fixing rates for the farmers. They are fixing the rate for the consumers. So that's why consumers are paying high premium price for the organic certified and natural products. The rates, the amounts are not passed on farmers in the same proportion. So I'll just give you the small example. If you see in the market, organic certified premium compared to the consumer price, the regular conventional prices is anywhere between 50% premium to 300% premium. You can check and check all the brands and labels that are available in the market, organic certified products. But when it comes to the payment to the farmers, hardly farmers are getting anywhere between 5 to 10% only. That is the hard reality. I'm talking about the farmers who are directly selling to the institutional buyers and the big, large buyers and traders. But there are some farmers who are able to process themselves and directly sell to the consumers. They are separated, but this is the scenario. Having said this problem, what the solution and what is the value proposition AbhiFarmers is working what we have just given in this 5 slides. So as we told that how we want to position AbhiFarmers is that we want to make this organized farmers as the marketing federation of and farmer producer organizations, organic and natural farmers across the country. This is how we want to position ourselves. In simple of Amul, many of the people might be knowing about Amul. I'll just get back to what is the similarity between Amul and AbhiFarmers later stage. So what we do is that we procure commodities from the farmers and pay the market price at the village itself through the farmer producer organization, and it is converted into and marketed as the branded as well as. So this is what we are doing. So here, also marketing the products to the consumers, and we are also the institutional buyers and the retail stores. So at the year end, whatever the profit we are going to get, 50% of profit on the year end, it will be to the farmers as the price difference. So this year, I think so we are just going to break even, and so from side, so you will just get the information that thing we have shared this some of it to the farmers. That's what we are going to make sure this financial year. So in this thing, so these are the 5 different steps. So it's we are just going to do one market price to the farmer, critical thing. So which are so here farmers need not worry about how to market. I'm only talking about how farmers we are working and organic and natural farmer. Need not worry about where to market and how to market. So FPO will lead the entire procurement process and from them, and so it will directly process and give it to us. The second one is that facilitating the integrated services to the farmers. This is what we are going to discuss a little bit elaborately. So what is that we are going to do? So the activities, services we are going to do is that linkages to the quality inputs, finance to the farmers and FPOs, linking the farm machinery thing, and so trainings and capacity building for productivity enhancement and other related thing. Dashboard service to the FPOs where all the farmers details of the entire transactions are at the FPO level. And so in terms of procurement, commodity grading, aggregation services, and processing of the commodities to the FPOs and the local enterprises, and local marketing of the value-added area, of job opportunities, the areas in which FPOs are operating. So these are all the so important integrated services we just worked out. Third one is already mentioned, the marketing of the pesticide free are directly with consumers. And one, the supply of commodity, the food processing companies, institutional buyers in the quarter. So this thing, we made it into 2 parts. As we are the social enterprise and our funds are limited and we don't have much funds. So what we have done is that our major focus, because our major focus is on the marketing. So we want to start with marketing as a priority. And the second stage is what the entire value added services we are just providing. So in the first scenario, the commodities are procured from the farmers, directly brought to the our so warehouse where we have the cleaning, packing, labeling, and all those things, and we have the packing facility and all those things, and we directly market to the consumer. In stage 2, so what we have done is, so we have identified all the locations where we are wanted to work. So as of now, so our 2025 the focus is to link across the country where we want to create hubs of all these places, and the minimum 1 lakh farmers in 100 FPOs are going to be having this entire the processing facilities owned by the farmer producer organization and create the network of this 100 farmer producer organization across the country. So that is the plan. So out of the things, so we have, I will share you the what is the progress in the end slide. So we have almost so reached out to the around 30 farmer producer organizations who are into the organic certified produce as well as the natural farming. And so we have covered about some 11 states and 30,000 farmers farmers base we have created. But so out of that thing, we are able to do only transactions with 2,000. Now we are expanding our market reach, and soon we will be having so much more farmers are servicing of our operations. So coming to the stage 2 operations, one is that we are identifying the clusters where what type of the extension service are required. That means first to understand what are all the services, what are all the facilities that are there. So what is the current situation of that FPO, we will assess them. Once we assess, what are all the gaps and how we have to fix. So as I mentioned, so we have systems in place, whether they have the finances, required finances are so they are there, whether they so the storage facility are there, whether they have the processing facility is there. This is what we will be just focusing, and based on the current gaps and all those things, so we are working. So overall, these next two bits are very important. If you can just do them, that will be better, because this entire session is about these 2 points. So these services to the FPOs, we have made it into 2 parts. One is that direct services, the facilitation services. I'll just these things in detail. So when I mean we are fully involved in ensuring reach it through us. We are facilitating or we are linking that service so that the overall the gap is at the FPO level. Analysis of that FPO to understand what and we have to do is what we are working. So in this we will just detail analyze what are the commodity they are dealing with, what are the area they are working with, what is the strength and weakness of that FPOs, and so the current operations, how they are handling, whether they have any so existing assets in infrastructure availability is there. So what is this production practices, the processing infrastructure, all those things we are assessing. And based on that thing, what is the future roadmap for this FPO to work with these FPOs? Like this, so we identify all these FPOs, wherever we procurement with this FPO, this is our first step. First step, we will understand as how and what is the areas, so what to be done. So, and we have created the hub. In the hub concept, what we are saying that every hub model should have minimum one commodity to maximum any number of farmer, and minimum so they have this the procurement system in place, and FPO should start the from the farmer. Need to have this the finance service and finance support for procurement of the thing. They need to have the warehouse, whether it is either owned or the leased, all those things. It's not a issue, but they need to have access to the warehouse. They also need to have the access to the so processing. Either it is owned by the FPO, or they are taking on a lease thing, or they are doing the job work. So this is the major things we are so considering as the hub. So like this thing, we want to, as I told you, establish a minimum of 100 so hubs by 2025. Having done this SWOT this PO, the first thing so we do is that what are the current product related services required by the FPO. So so for that, so we have tied up with so many things. So agriculture is such a thing. Any organization who is just focusing on providing the service, they can't do it on their own. So the collaborations and networking is plays a major and critical role. So in that context, so we have identified wherever so possible. So we have different organizations we have identified, and so far we are able to tie up and collaborate more than some 10-12 organizations which are providing different services. So we are just utilizing their expertise and so providing and the services to the FPOs. So one such thing is that satellite image services. So through that thing, so what are the geofencing services, information on growth, pests, weather forecast, and harvest period of the crops through analysis of satellite images. And so we are giving this to the FPOs free of cost to all the farmers who are also taking the input services from us. So so that is the second services we are just doing. So this input services, so we are just giving the so organic. We started with organic fertilizers and pesticides. We tied up with one so company. We have just studied so 3 years, and now we got the organic fertilizer license, and we started with one FPOs, in Telangana. So the organic fertilizers, so everywhere the feedback and response of soil fertilizers is excellent reports, and the products which we are using so can be applied to more than 68 crops so far has been tested with very good results, including the cotton and so chilies. So that is what. So second one is the third one is the procurement services. Procurement services. What is the current state of understanding of the with regard to ensuring the quality, whether they have the procurement systems in place? If not, the giving the training and so aspects of this thing. Fourth one is the establishment of warehouse and the processing units. So as I told you, this is the critical of all the things. For this thing, what evaluate as directly to the consumers, they will not have the so better income level. So if they only limit themselves to only production, much income to the farmer, whether any organization coming and supporting also, it doesn't matter. But they need to be at the FPO level, whether it's primary processing facility or whatever as per their capacity and understanding, they need to have this. So whatever the consumers that going to use, that should be provided by the farmers. That's what we strongly feel at Abhi Farmers, and we are ensuring that is delivered at the FPO level. So as part of that thing, so we are taking the entire responsibility of starting from the proposal preparation to bank loan assistance and construction of the processing units or warehouses, whatever it is. So for running and maintenance of the processing facilities also we are ensuring. And wherever we have just started this the processing facility and all those things, one person as the qualified person from Abhi Farmers who ensures that starting from the procurement production of the commodities to the procurement, the storage and the processing from it comes out of the value added product comes out of that. We are ensuring. The last thing what we are ensuring is that the local marketing of the value added product. As I told you, the farmers produce the commodities either 2 times or 3 times in a year, but consumers want entire year. Every day they want the commodities, but because farmers do not have the storage facility, don't have the value added product, they are directly selling the commodities. So this once they are able to store the commodities, once they are able to process it and come up with this value added product, even at the FPO level itself, farmers and FPO can just have this local marketing with their own also brand and all this thing. As I told in Amul also, Amul has all the district level cooperatives where the milk is traded in their own districts with their own different brands. Like many people might have heard only Amul, but there are and other brands are there which are only in their local district. So all the district unions sell entire their commodities in the district level. Whatever the SERP that is there, that is given to the Amul, so which is so marketed across the country, and so that is what the business model of the thing. So the same we are using here also. The FPOs, after having their own value-added product, they will sell the market products in their local where it is possible, either with their branding or what. So the support that is required for this packing related thing, labeling, branding, and linkages for local marketing, all those things. So informally, our farmers is supporting them. So this is what all the direct services to the farmers we are doing. Second one is the facilitation services. The in the facilitation services, first an important thing is the financial linkages. In the financial linkages, also 2 parts are there. One is that the financial linkages we are providing linkages of all the NBFCs, other things who are interested. Like that thing, so already a couple of FPOs we have extended these things starting from Adilabad district to other places also. We have just done that thing. One is that so loans to individual farmers that through the FPO. Second one is that warehouse receipt financing and working capital finance to the FPO. This is where the tripartite agreement is what we are just entering into with the three organizations. One is that FPO, second one is the financial institution, third one is the Abhi Farmers. The model how it works is that as soon as this the harvest is done by the farmers, that is procured by the FPOs, and the FPO stores in the existing warehouses. As soon as the commodity reaches the warehouse, the entire the financial institution, the NBFC, with whom we are so having the tripartite agreement, immediately releases the money to the FPO up to 70% of the value of the stock. So immediately the FPO will pay to the farmers. The first step of getting the farmers on-time payment is ensured, and the entire stock is at the FPO disposal. That's where the FPO can plan for the entire stage of the commodity, how far it has to store, and how much it has to be processed and sell it as a value-added product. All those things, the planning and execution of this entire thing for our next 6 months is done by the FPOs in consultation with this Abhi Farmers. What Abhi Farmers do is that as soon as this the stock is reached the warehouses, that's what our marketing back end marketing work is done, and immediately within 6 months, so we'll be just ensuring that thing entire stock is consumed either by us or through our institutional buyers. So this is what we do, and this extension service is that the one is soil testing facilities and training program to the various thematic areas. All those things, information is passed on to the FPOs and the FPO members. And as I told you, the ICT service is that digitization and aggregation of the information of the farmers to the FPOs, farm and farm related services and all those things. In addition to that thing, a lot of FPOs are in requirement of these legal compliances, so certifications, so licenses, documentations, and other services. So whichever the FPOs is asked any relevant service, whatever the FPOs we are working, so we are just providing that information, and so with that, so the FPOs. So these are all the the direct services and facilitation services we are working. So coming to what we are doing and what is our product profile and all those things. So I'll just take some 10 minutes, and so next I will just open for this questions and answers. So coming to this our line and brands. So we have we have registered our own brands for marketing, direct our marketing efforts to the consumers. So we have done the 4 brands registration. One brand is Green Royals. This is exclusive for organic certified products. Second one is the Ingrains. This is chemical-free products, which are pesticide-free products, but there is no organic certification because many of the farmers are doing the natural farming without taking any organic certification. To benefit the farmers and the FPOs, we have created the separate FPO, separate brand to market this product. Third one is the instant mixes or convenience mixes, where this different mixes for making the breakfast and other recipes is taken. Like I'll just show you the different products. So these are all the instant mixes, and we can use it in a quick time cook and for the convenience purpose. Fourth one is the healthy snacks. That's what we call this as the Me2 under the Me2's brand. So instant mixes brand is a quick make. So in the Me2's brand, so we are promoting the healthy snacks because in India many people have this tendency of taking the snacks, especially many of the snacks are the junk. We are treated as a junk food. So to minimize that thing, so healthy snacks, so with different nutritional values and all those things, so we are just promoting. So that is the thing. So the product categories, if you see that, so here I have mentioned here there are 9 only, but we have started the 12 product categories as of now. One is the millet. We have the millet categories. We have the pulses categories. We have the cereals categories. All the cereals. So we have and cold pressed oils. We have sweeteners. We have spices and condiments. We have nuts and dry food. We have instances. I told you healthy snacks. We have daily now. So the leafy vegetables and fruits we have started, and the last 12th one is that. So dairy products is what we have started. So these are the 12 categories we have started. When it comes to the total products, we have more than 210 products are there, which we are marketing as of now directly to the consumer. So as I told you, the vegetables, we have more than some 40 different SKUs are there in vegetables, fruits, millets. We have more than some 40 items are there. All the millets, we have the variations also we are marketing, and all the 9 millets also available with us. Not only millet rices, we have the flours, idli rava, upma rava, and broken rice also we are just marketing. So coming to the pulses, we have the some 17 varieties of pulses we are marketing. All the pulses are the organic certified. So in cereals, around some 25 different varieties of cereals we are just marketing. Out of that, also we have the specialty varieties also there. We have the black rice is there. We have red rice. We have red rice. So poha is there. We are bringing that from different locations. Barley flour we bring from the Himachal Pradesh. So like that, Java full rice from Chhattisgarh. Kalamali rice we are bringing from Chhattisgarh. We are also bringing from Tamil Nadu, so different, so specialty Samba Masuri rice also. And we are also Puni rice also we are marketing in Hyderabad market. So these are all the different specialty cereals we are bringing from the different parts of the country. So cold pressed oils, we have the 6 variations, so variants as of now. Coconut, virgin coconut, groundnut, mustard oil, safflower, sesame, sunflower, and the white sesame. So these are all the cold pressed oils we are just taking. Sweeteners, we have the some so very good unique and so products are also there. Cane jaggery block, brown sugar, coconut sugar also there. High altitude organic certified honey we are getting from the Uttarakhand. We are also having the stevia herb, so leaves and this also we are thinking. We have the wild forest honey also we are just marketing. So these are all the part of the sweeteners. Spices and condiments, about some 17 different spices and condiments so we are selling, starting from amchur to so the mushroom powder, and all available with us and we are marketing. So coming to the nuts and seeds, we have the almond, apricot. Almond we are getting from the Himachal Pradesh. Apricot dried also Himachal Pradesh. We are getting it as some of the the spices I forgot. Now we are getting in touch with this Kerala. Kerala is one state which we have not started the operation in this month. I think next month maybe in the month of May we are going to add one FPC from the Kerala. So as I told you, so dairy drink powders, as part of this thing. So organic coffee powder, organic orthodox tea. This is from Meghalaya. We are bringing wheatgrass powder, amla tea powder, moringa chai dips. So these are all the things we are doing. In organic coffee powder, we are doing in a much so aggressive way. We are sourcing from the Araku area. Grade 1 A1 variety, and we have almost about some 1,500 metric tons of organic coffee is production is available. Out of that thing, 100 metric tons is we are focusing this year with all the processing so thing. This is what we are just working. As I told you, instant mixes, we have the Jawar dosa mix, multi-millet dosa mix, khichdi mix, and roti mix is what we have. So healthy snacks, Nutri Lagi Raddu. This is a very so tasty, and all the customers, so whoever tried it, so they continuously take from this. So that is what the so we made a lot of iterations and made the Nutri Ragi Laddu very tasty. Not only tasty and a high level of so nutritions are there. Moringa biscuits and mushroom multi-grain and mushroom oats biscuits also we are just marketing as of now. As I told you, we are just so marketing around 40 different items of leafy vegetables and the vegetables and fruits. All our leafy vegetables are sent to the customers in the MAP packets where there is no contamination, no touch of anybody, starting from the cutting to the reaching to the consumer. That's how we are taking, and our customers have the high preference and so the uniqueness of our leafy vegetables for our leaf through our customers. So that is the thing. So coming to this, so numbers, as I told you in the beginning. So this is what so far our progress is all about. We have total 12 categories, 4 brands. This 3,300 metric tons we have processed already. About some 30,000 farmers we have there, and 30 FPOs are there. We have about some currently 1,600 FPOs customers in Hyderabad itself, and 60 retail shops we are marketing directly in Hyderabad. Our company is registered as this LLP, so we have about some 45 partners are there who are social investors and who are ready to give, willing to share the with the farmers. Though we are able to give 50% of the profits to the farmer. So equity mobilized so far is about some 1.45 crores we could mobilize, and turnover 2.5 crores we have done, and where we have the house pack facility. As I told you, we received the RKV funds through managed, and we utilized that 6 lakhs for establishing the packing machinery and other activities. Part of that thing went for that thing. So we have the full time team in Hyderabad and the Delhi. Total 20-member team is there. So the next 3 years, what we are planning is also in the 50 crore is what we are just aiming, and 60 FPOs. We want to have the MOU and the minimum course of the equity mobilization. 15,000 farmers is what direct services we want to do, and additional income to farmers minimum. So 16% we are just estimating through this value added service and through value addition, and minimum estimate returns to the partners is 12%. So these are the 4 the designated partners as of now. We have myself, Shesharao Rathod, Saumani, and Satyanarayana Vadigaru. So all of them have this more than 15 years of experience. We have the core team of 5 members who are looking after as a chief operating officer. Aishwarya based out of Delhi, looking after this procurement and marketing of the from Delhi. Mrityunjay Shastri, Director FPO Services, he looks after the entire the FPO services, and Dr. Lakshmi Aram, she is also PhD holder, and she is looking after this marketing aspects. Dr. Sushmita, she is the Chief Growth Officer. She looks after this branding, and the direct to consumer growth aspects. So this is about thing. We have the 8-member advisory board of all across different supply chain. N.V. Ramana Garu, he has 30 years of experience in the value chain. Narendra Garu has 30 years of experience in development. Kotesrao Garu has 30 years of experience in exports. I forgot to tell you that we have the export license, and we exported one consignment in 2020, but unfortunately after that Corona started and we could not continue, and hopefully this year I think we'll continue with our export operations. Ramakrishna Garu has 40 years of experience in organic agriculture promotion. C.S. Reddy Garu, so he's MD of AP Mass, and he is also advisor with us. Mohani Garu is the ex-CGM NABARD. He is also one of the advisors with us. Shanmukha Reddy Garu has 30 years of experience, and he is supporting us in the food processing related all the support and advisories he is giving. And Amarnath Garu is he is a trading expert, and he has 40 years of experience. So he just supports us in terms of the commodities, trading aspects. So this is all about our organization and what we are doing about. This is our first product launching by Jayesh Ranjan Garu, Murali Aknoni Garu. And so Jayesh Ranjan Garu, you might be knowing. He is the chief secretary industries, and Murali garu XIS, and Venkatram Reddy garu the horticulture, so director horticulture. So this is we already just for marketing is the market pack, where in monthly pack we have 28 essential natural provisions are there. The total weight is 4.8 kgs approximately. And why we have started is that for our customers who are starting for the first time, we are just marketing this thing, giving this thing. This cost is now it's 750 rupees. So with 750 rupees, they can test all the quality of our 28 products, and almost all the consumers who purchase our monthly packs are the repeat customers, and so they are just taking some products of of our organization. So that is the thing. So all this, so the farm also feed related pictures. I have not taken many photos. This is a brief about our thing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your detailed presentation. How do you start the process of selection of a farmers group, sir?
So what we have done is that unlike the conventional farmers, when it comes to the organic certified and natural farmers, there are not many farmer producer organizations exclusively organic certified and chemical free farmer FPOs. We have the network of different resource organization. I have just compiled all the data. From that data, whoever is registered as this natural and organic type of thing, we called out all the details. From that, we different things. The first foremost thing we approached is the Chetana Organic, which is based out of working currently in 4 states. They are working in Maharashtra, they are working Orissa, they are working Telangana and AP. So these are all the 4 states they are working. So we just approached them. We just explained their model and all those things. They are known for this exporting of the cotton, organic certified cotton. Fortunately, what we have done is in cotton, so all the pulses are given in the alternate crop. So that's where we could collaborate with each other. We have just started procuring from them, and we started marketing this all the pulses, organic certified pulses cultivated by the farmers, so Chetana farmers, through our branding. So that's how the genesis of we started with 18 products in our 2018. We started our marketing intervention with the 18 products. So from 18 products in 2018, now we could reach out to the 210 products. So that is the basis, Yuvraj.
So one more question from our side, sir. You decided that you wanted to share 50% of the profits with the farmers. But how does it happen basically? Is it a promise, or you generally get into any of the written agreement? Because so that is one kind of a rider. They want to come and they can come and onboard very easily.
Yes. See, what we are doing is that we are just informing every FPOs about this thing, but either FPO or the farmers are not very much fascinated about that 50% of profit. First, what they focus is that you just give the at least better price now. We will see the whatever you are going to give at the later. That is what the last 2 years response of the FPOs. So what we are able to do is that we are able to give the at least 5% so better price than what they are able to get in the market for their produce currently. That itself so very much interested, and they are coming to this thing. Also, we have not given any 50% of profit so far, but the value addition we are able to give them, that they were all of the FPOs with whom we are working, they are more than happy with our support services we are providing, either direct services or facilitation services. I just explained previously. So that itself, so giving lot of advantage or benefit to the FPOs, and many people, many FPO farmers are able to get so good returns because of these so direct services we are provided, whether it is related to this so financial linkages given to the farmers, all the local marketing support we have just created, and these extension services, or the legal complaints service, whatever it is I explained. So that itself, they have taken it as a very so valuable so contribution from our side.
Okay, sir. One more question, because you have been predominantly working with natural or organic farming.
Not predominantly, we are only into organic certified and the natural farmers.
I agree, sir, but it will restrict the percentage of the farmers that the availability is very less. What kind of activities or initiative are doing to encourage farmers to get into organic farming, sir? Because that is where your major
Exactly.
chunk of market is there.
Yes, that is exact. You are absolutely right, Yuvraj. That's where we are just last 3 years. So we are scouting. So how we can just convert the existing conventional farmers into the organic farmer. But the major issue, the why farmers. I'll just take 1 minute here to explain, and what we are doing, I'll just explain. So majority of the times, some of the farmers, they started either organic or the natural farming. But the major issue felt by the farmers is that once they start this shifting from the conventional to the organic or natural farming, there is a sudden drop in the productivity because of the shifting. They are not using any chemical fertilizers or pesticides, and the growth of the plants and the productivity of the plant has coming down, and it is seen and visible in many of the farmers so productivity levels. So that is the reason, as I told you, that the farmers are not getting. So if there is a decrease of the productivity up to 30% in first 2 to 3 years, the farmers are not getting up to 30% of compensation for their organic produce. So that's where the net returns, when they started shifting from the conventional to the organic farming, is not so beneficial for the farmers in terms of monetary. So many farmers, they dropped out of this organic farming or the natural farming. That's what happening, and it is going to happen, because if the farmers are not so clear of how to do the organic farming without so losing the productivity and all this, it's bound to happen. So last 3 years, our focus has been, so how we can just so ensure that the farmer shift to the organic farming without without losing the productivity. So the last 3 years, we have tested with the many people who are many practices, many organic fertilizers or soil application, all those things who are using and all this, how it is affecting on all things. Finally, we could find one, so the fertilizers and the pesticide application, where so when we use these things, so even the regular farmers also, without going for any natural organic farming also, if they use that thing, so their productivity is so intact, and they are able to get this chemical free so produce also. So that is what the major so breakthrough we are able to get it. And so with this thing, we are just reaching out to the farmers. We are giving the sample to the farmers. So wherever there is a they are doing the demonstration. The farmers are just checking on those things, and all the farmers who have started the demonstration, they are just happy, and they are taking it forward. That's how now we approached around some 30 to 40 FPOs within our reach, and from the June onwards, many of the FPOs, they are going to take this the soil application and organic fertilizers with those farmers on a trial basis first year, and yeah, because they've seen with one or two people, so with the select farmers, they want to take it up, and once they get the results in this the financial year, next year, so many conventional farmers also will shift to this organic practices and organic production. That's what the roadmap we are planning, Yuvraj.
Anything in dairy and poultry sector, sir?
Yeah, the dairy and poultry sector we are not so getting into because we want to first strengthen, because there are so many specialized dairy units are there, Yuvraj. So as of now, we are not getting into that. But because we are dealing with 210 products, some of our customers are asking for some dairy products. So we just started so cow and so buffalo geese, organic certified cow ghee and buffalo ghee. That is the thing. But in the near future, next 2 to 3 years, we may not venture into this dairy products, but we will be marketing so 2 3 dairy products. We'll limit ourselves only to marketing of so couple of dairy products and not getting into the dairy intervention.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, typically it takes 3 years for a farmer to convert into organic farmer.
Yes, correct.
What kind of support you are giving to farmers during this transformation period?
So during the transformation period, it will not be considered as the organic produce. So it can be only considered as the natural produce. We are not taking much produce now because currently we are able to serve the entire so our customers and the B2B clients through our organic certified the produce. So we are in progress organic certified thing. We are not taking much, but when it comes to the natural products, as a natural produce, we are taking and we are getting the test done, and we are communicating to the consumers that thing this is a natural and not organic certified produce, but we have the test reports of the chemical pesticide residue free thing. So that's what we are sharing as a separate commodity and not as a organic certified product. That percent is a little bit only for the millets. Majority we are taking as the natural products. All other products we are taking as the organic certified products only, Yuvraj.
Okay, sir. So there is a question from Madhushmita Mishra, ma'am. So is there are there any government schemes supporting organic farmers, sir, specifically?
There are there, but how far they are so supporting? There is one so national level organic promotion agency also there. So all farmers they are part of this organics the body. But government also giving so certain incentives for promoting this pesticide free thing. So they are giving both in terms of infrastructure and these cash incentives also they are providing.
Okay, thank you, sir. One more question from our side. Market is crowded with a lot of organic products. Many people do not even have idea whether do different types of certificates. So many certificates they are doing.
Correct.
So how do you make consumer aware that your process are better, and are you giving any recognition to your farmers? Let's say this product is procured from this particular area.
Yes. Yeah. Because actually in every so discussions I tell that thing, because our focus is more on services. I didn't discuss. So as you asked, I will just explain how we are differentiating our making totally alternative marketing arrangements. What we are doing, I will explain you. So as you correctly mentioned that thing, and I also pointed out that thing, the premium that is being charged is anywhere between 50% to 300% by all these organic certified brands compared to the conventional brands. That's but still, if you see the overall market share, only 3 to 5% only the market share of organic certified products. But every day you see the lot of organic certified brands are coming and so reaching out to the consumer. So that is the scenario where we are. As a more number of brands are there, but there is no more penetration of organic the customer. All the new players and the existing player have to fight with the existing customers only. That minimizes the break-even point of all the profitability of all the existing the players, the brands and the organic so marketing people. If they're playing only with the limited number of people, because their profitability is decreasing, so it is there to come out of that thing. So they are increasing the prices and they're making the products as a little bit more premium. So that's where the prices are going high and high. So in Hyderabad, we made a small survey with some limited number of people. So what we understood is that thing, almost 30% of the people we surveyed said that they are health conscious, but because they are not very sure about the organic, so the nature of the product, the marketed by the brands and all those things, they are not coming forward. The major points mentioned by them is that there is no traceability from where it is coming, how it is coming, who are the farmers growing all those things. That's not given or not in the on the pouches, and so it's not, the information is not provided. Is what the first thing. Second thing is that thing, okay, you are saying that thing, this is a pesticide free, chemical free, and organic certified free. But we are not able to understand whether it's actually what type of chemical it is free of, and all those things is not known anywhere. So we don't have any idea. So third one I already mentioned, this is premium, price premium attached to it. So we just, what we have done based on this research finding is that thing. So why can't we just share this information with the consumers directly? So that's why we have come up with this QR code, which will give the traceability of the things. So we are just now tying up with one blockchain company, where so we can directly trace out and blockchain company and this satellite image based company. So we are just now working out with the MOU with them. So where we can trace out this entire commodity from where it is coming from, which farmer it is coming, till the value added level. That will be, information will be shared in the QR code. In the same way, the entire pesticide test report of the each commodity will be just so put it in the QR code, and when customers scans that thing, they will get the both things. One is that what is that pesticide test report it has and all those things, and where it is coming from. The traceability and pesticide both reports will be there. Third thing, to address this thing, what we are doing that, so we are working on the cost plus pricing. So the pricing of our products will be only depends on the what is that the farmer farm gate price, what we are procuring, and so our transportation, our margins, all those things. So so in future we are going to make it from the farm gate price. So this we are going to price it at maximum 35% to 40% only we are going to keep as the margin, so that the overall MRP of the organic certified products will come down, and so it will just give way to so more number of organic farmers. So as I told you that 30% of the consumer, so they're ready to take, provided these three criteria are fulfilled. So what we are talking about, so even if you take the 10% of this 30%, so we are talking about additional 3% to the existing 3%. So totally full market, so double the market is what in next 10 years there is a scope actually. So we are consciously working on these three things, and our next printed pouches will have the QR code providing all this information about the traceability and this pesticide test reports. All those things will be there, and we are hoping that these three things will increase our consumers base irrespective of who is purchasing. So that is the thing, Yuvraj.
Thank you very much for your insight, sir. How you would like to connect to the government officials, government departments like KVKs, district officers, to take this forward so that it can be implemented, and farmers also can get benefited?
Yes, wherever we are working, we are in touch with this KVK, and that we are but reaching out to the more number of KVKs, because we are in touch with in locations where our FPOs are in place and our procurement currently happening only, Yuvraj. So we need to take it out to the all other KVKs and reach out to the more number of FPOs in the coming days.
Thank you very much for your detailed presentation, sir. We are going to share your details with our participants also. So at any point of time, all our participants are request you can contact Mr. Satyadev for collaboration or to implement any of his procedures or thing in your jurisdiction in your respective areas. Thank you very much, sir.
Definitely. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Sharman, sir.
Thank you, Satyadev, for very interesting presentation, and all the best for all your work. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.